Hey there. This is part two of three of Sacristan for Cursillo. We will cover Thursday and Friday's duties. Thursday, after lunch, is the team meeting, the team Eucharist, which is also called the commissioning of the team, and it includes a servant foot washing. You will need to set this up in the morning. You were given a binder with the sacristan responsibilities, the sacristan manual. Please make sure you consult that each day. Read through it. It has everything you need. For Thursday, you will need to do this in the morning. Make sure that you have the first reading, the psalm, and the second reading on the podium in order. The gospel reading should be marked in the gospel book. If you can't find the reading in the gospel book, it is perfectly fine to have a printout and to place it in the gospel book and then put the red tab there. The gospel book will stand on the left side of the altar to the right of the left altar candle. You will also need 3 chairs. Place the 3 chairs in front of the bottom step in front of the altar. Leave some space between them. Opposite the right sacristy is a closet that will have the bowls and the pitchers. Place a large bowl in front of each chair with a pitcher of hot water to the right. You do not have to boil water, just use hot water from the right sacristy sink. Hopefully it'll still be warm by the time we get to this point. On the left side of the bowl, place 12-foot drying towels. Just stack them up in a stack. If there aren't 36, 12 for each chair, try to even them out as best as you can. Hopefully, after each person washes the previous person's foot, they will put the towel under the chair. Set up the credence table as described in the first video. Use 2 priest hosts. The second priest host will go into a small ciborium to be placed under the veil on the shelf by the tabernacle. This host is for the monstrance on Saturday night. No burse or veil will be used until Sunday. You're going to set up the stack as described in the first video. The chalice, the purificator, the paten. On the paten, put 2 priest hosts. Then the pall. On top of the pall, put the corporal. Inside the bread box, you are going to place 1 more host than the sum of the number of team members and candidate members. So if there are 32 on team and with candidates, remember that the priest host counts as 4. You need a total of 33. You're going to put out the 2 cruets, the water and the wine. The wine will go to the right. On the left side of the credence table will be the lavabo towel and the lavabo bowl. If you use a purificator here, don't worry about it. The purificator and the lavabo towels are usually the same size. It's just where the cross is. On the purificator, the cross is usually in the middle. On the lavabo towel, it's usually on the bottom or near the edge. On this slide, there are two photos. One is from Cursillo 116, where Father Nigel was the main celebrant with Mother Deborah and Reverend Christie. That photo was taken after the foot washing and everything was cleaned up. The other image is the altar. It is the way you need to set the altar in the morning. You will have the two altar candles. The gospel book will be standing to the right of the left candle, and the missal stand will have the altar service book on top of it. That's all you need for that. Every time there is a Eucharist, you are responsible for lighting the altar candles and for extinguishing the altar candles. If you look at the altar picture, the epistle is the left side, the gospel side, the epistle is the right side, the gospel is the left side. It's called the gospel side because that's where we put the gospel book. When lighting the altar candles before the service, light the epistle side first, then light the gospel side. After the service, extinguish the gospel side prior to extinguishing the epistle side. Foot washing is an act of intimacy, and it is an important part of this service. I know some people don't like it, but Jesus commissions us to go out and do the work like he did, and even he washed the disciples' feet. It takes place after the liturgy of the word and before the liturgy of the Eucharist. You will need to carefully remove the bowls, the pitcher, the dirty towels, etc. to the right sacristy while another cha-cha moves the chairs. This will happen after the last person has their foot washed. After the service, you will clean up. The used linens go on the right of the piscina sink. It's in the left sacristy, but there's space on the right side. If there is wine or lipstick on the linens, use Tide to Go, whitening toothpaste, or any other wine stain remover. You should bring those items with you. Shake the corporal over the piscina sink. If it is clean, if there's no wine stains on it, it can be used again. Fold it, place it in the top drawer of the dresser. Rinse the chalice and the paten in the piscina sink. Then take them to the right side. Wash them with hot water and Dawn in the sink in the right sacristy. Clear everything off the altar except the two altar candles. Make sure that they are extinguished. You will also have to wash and dry the foot washing bowls and pitchers. Return them to the closet. Place the reserved host in a ciborium on the shelf under the veil by the left tabernacle. Put the foot washing towels into a bag. They will need to be passed on to the next lay rector. The next lay rector will need to wash them and have them ready for the next Cursillo weekend. Sometimes these towels go back to the material coordinator. We just don't want them getting lost. Thursday evening. So Thursday, all the candidates will show up. They'll be in the royal room. There'll be a meditation, probably a talk from Kathy from Mariondale. We will start a silent retreat in the royal room and then go to the chapel, where we will do the Way of the Cross, also known as the Stations of the Cross. Check with the lay rector to see what set of stations will be used. Most lay rectors use the stations that are in Mariondale. Some like to print out their own. The sacristan is always the crucifer, so you will need to bring an alb and a cincture. If we are using the stations that are in Mariondale, when you're in the middle of the church and you're looking to the back wall, you will see a statue on the right side. All the way to the right is station 1. Going right to left on that side are stations 1 through 7. Then you will pass by the nave where the 2 doors are to enter. And then going from right to left are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. If the lay rector has printed out a set, you must only use painter's tape to hang them. You could put 3 pieces of painter's tape on the back or 4. Do not cover the original stations on the back wall. Check with the lay rector where he or she wants those posted. It's saying Friday morning, but starting with Thursday evening. Thursday evening silent retreat is not broken until Friday morning prayer and Eucharist service. After the stations on Thursday evening, I quietly slip out to the right sacristy. I take off my alb and cincture and I hang it. Then I start setting up as much as I can for Friday morning. Nothing can be set out on the credence table or the altar until Friday morning. I fill the bread box with the proper number of hosts. The number of people on the weekend, team plus candidates plus 1. Remember the priest host counts as 4. I fill the 2 cruets, the wine and the water. I make the stack, this time using only 1 priest host. I make sure the readings are in order. Everything is left in the right sacristy until early Friday morning. Thursday evening, once all is set up for Friday morning, I go out the left side and I sit in the pew either with the OLR or behind the OLR. Compline will be going on soon, but I listen to the remaining meditation and I participate in Compline. Friday morning, go to the chapel early to set up the credence table and the altar. This should be quick if you set everything up the previous night. Please remember to light the altar candles, starting with the epistle side. All 3 readings go on the podium in this order: Psalm on top, Epistle in the middle, Gospel on bottom. The Gospel can be read by a lay person because this is morning prayer without Eucharist. No Gospel book on the altar. The altar will only have the 2 altar candles and the altar service book on the missal stand. The lay rector will be the officiant. Morning prayer ends after the lay rector reads the dedication about the saint of the weekend. Extinguish the candles, gospel side first. Bring everything to the back. You will not have time to clean everything up until after you eat breakfast. After you eat breakfast, go back to clean the linens and the vessels. Remember to rinse in the piscina first and wash with soap and hot water on the other side. Leave any dirty or soiled linens on the right side of the piscina sink. During the day, see the head chacha about what duties you can help with. Make sure that you are in the royal room for the introduction of the team. If the rainbow chasubles and stoles are wrinkled, now is a good time to iron everything. Please do not let the candidates see them. The candidates are on the second floor, but so is the ironing board and the iron. I tend to bring my own iron, so it's in my room, and I bring the ironing board up to my room. You can then hang the chasubles in the sacristy until Sunday. Put them in the left sacristy on the hook on the door that's on the right side. If you have time on Friday, the carnation should be in a vase in the right sacristy. If you have time, make a fresh cut. There are scissors in one of the drawers. And put the individual carnations into a water tube. They will be delivered on Wednesday or Thursday, usually on Wednesday with the two large displays that are put in the chapel. It can also be done on Saturday if you don't have the time. Most of the time, the water tubes will come with water, but if they are empty, pop the top off, fill them with water, put the tops on, then slide the freshly cut carnation into each individual water tube. Place all the carnations back into the vase for storage until Sunday morning. Friday evening will be Compline with Mask. There's nothing really for you to do for that. Then you'll have the team meeting. Saturday is long, so make sure you get some sleep. The next video will contain the remaining 2 days. I wish you the best of luck.